Welcome to the Stevia Show. It's the Stevia Show. Helping you expand on what you know. Throw in a meme of the week and a review of the screen. And to have a show that covers everything.
Hey, Team Stevia, and welcome to episode 93 of the Stevia Show.
The Stevia Show.
Yeah, we're just gonna roll with it. We're just gonna roll with it. I don't even care at this point. We're just gonna go with it. Welcome to episode 93 of the Stevia Show.
A talk show podcast that covers pop culture, world news, local artistry, and everything in between.
As always, this is Steven.
And this is Lydia.
And we hope everybody is having a great day. That's what we get for skipping last week, is I just totally forgot what the name of our podcast was.
We forgot who we are, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I mean, 2020 will do that to you. So thank you all so much for joining us today. We have a pretty dummy thick episode for you all. So lots of updates, and we're excited to share them. But we do have two memes of the week this week because we did miss last week. So 2 weeks ago was one by our very own producer, Joe Taggart, continuing with his Pokemon memes, which I have been enjoying. So this time,
they've been really good.
Yeah, and the ice type was really good because he called he called the new Mr. Mime Charlie Chaplin because he does look like Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah.
And then he also called the Alolan Sanic the Hedgehog, which is the meme version of Sonic. So that was really good, and congratulations to Joe there. And then this week's winner is Daltron, who is also one of our producers, and he had a popular Dune meme. I didn't understand it because I've never watched or read Dune, but I'm sure it's great. So congratulations to both of them.
Yeah, the meme was actually very well done for a Dune meme.
Gotcha.
But that scene from the Dune, it should be the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Okay.
Coming out. So
cool.
It's right in the beginning of the book, so it's really good.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to both of them. And
Yes.
so naturally, I have a good shot at winning next week because I almost always win after Dalton wins. So we'll have to wait and see. So
I guess you're gonna have to bring your A game next week.
Something like that. And we have a double feature for your media review, correct?
Yes, we do.
Excellent.
Because we didn't pod last week, so I forgot that I'd watched that actual movie in the movie theater. The movie theater is now open, guys, and it is pretty safe. Matt and I went, and when we booked our tickets, they automatically blocked out the people next to us, so nobody could sit right next to us, which was cool. And then they're doing 50% capacity, so the theater wasn't at all full. We went on, was that Labor Day? Was it Labor Day 2 weeks ago?
Yes,
Labor Day. Was that Monday?
Yeah, it was Labor Day that last weekend.
Yeah, so we went Monday, Labor Day at 1. So it wasn't busy at all. We went in. You're supposed to keep your mask on unless you're eating and drinking and stuff. And it was just like a normal movie, just less people. So it was really awesome. So we went and watched Tenet.
Okay.
Which is a new movie directed by Christopher Nolan, which we all love here at the Stevia Show.
Dark Knight trilogy.
So Tenet, yes, Dark Knight, Interstellar.
Yes.
The movie where you go into the dreams.
Oh, Inception.
Yeah. I mean, he's just Dunkirk. He's just Christopher Nolan is just fantastic. So, Tenet is about a secret agent who embarks on a dangerous time-bending mission to prevent the start of World War III. This movie stars Robert Pattinson, Elizabeth Debicki, John David Washington, and like I said, it was directed by Christopher Nolan. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 73%. I gave it a 9 out of 10. It's just because I'm a big fan of these kinds of styles of movies. I love Inception, in movies like that, Interstellar, things like that, where time comes into play and you have to kind of piece together the movie as you're watching it. It's definitely a movie that you are going to want to watch more than one time because I for sure missed a whole bunch of stuff because, at the end it kind of explains it all and you're like, oh, I must have missed so much stuff so my notes on this movie too were when you think of a recent Christopher Nolan film, to expect a lot of plot twists and nothing is exactly as it may seem the first time around. I loved it. So,
awesome.
I 9 out of 10. I think people should go watch it. It's really good, or wait until it comes out if you don't want to go to the movie theater yet. But we were just really excited to go watch a movie. So
Absolutely.
then this week, we did a stay-at-home movie on Netflix called The Devil All the Time, which it just came out a few days ago, and I was personally really excited because it stars Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, Bill Skarsgård, Sebastian Stan, Harry Melling. It's a great all-star cast.
Ensemble
Basically,
cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Basically, it's set in rural Ohio and West Virginia. The Devil All the Time follows a cast of compelling and bizarre characters who surround a young man devoted to protecting those he loves from the end. In the time period is the end of World War II to the 1960s.
Cool.
So, Rotten Tomatoes actually gave it a 66%, but my score is a 7.5 out of 10.
That's not
It
too
is a
far
dark
off.
drama. Yeah, not too far off. It is a dark drama, but I will say that the performances from the trio of Tom, Robert, and Bill were one of the best we've seen in 2020. Which I know that's not saying a lot, but there's been a lot of good Netflix films out. And in the beginning, January, February, March, we had a lot of good movies out that came out too. But people are saying that this might be Tom Holland's best performance that he's ever done. And
Okay.
I could probably agree with it. I don't think I've seen all of Tom Holland's movies, though, to really back that up. But he did do an excellent job. I think that it's interesting when you have Englishmen like Tom Holland and Robert Pattinson come in and have thick country accents.
Yeah,
So it's
it's-
very impressive.
it's totally bizarre. And another weird thing about the British accent is whenever you hear bands from Britain, you don't detect that accent. And they don't even try to mask it. It just automatically goes away. And I
Right.
wonder if we could probably call Sierra. I wonder if there's some sort of like scientific reason why. Because if you listen to, like, if I were to like hand somebody like a Led Zeppelin song or a Beatles song, and if they somehow had no idea who they were, they wouldn't be able to accurately guess they were from the United Kingdom. Like, it'd be a lucky guess.
Right. Exactly.
And same with what's his name, Henry Cavill. He's British too. He played Superman.
Yeah.
And also Christian Bale played Batman, and he's British too, which is weird. And also Robert Pattinson. He's been clear for COVID now, so production for the Batman has resumed. We forgot to put that on the docket, but we're super stoked on that.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. I guess Robert Pattinson, I mean, he's just making a comeback this year. I've watched 2 movies in a week and a half with him in it, and then he's going to have a big Batman movie come out. So
I'm
definitely on a Robert Pattinson kick. But while I was researching The Devil All the Time to make my notes, one of my articles said that Robert Pattinson actually was the only one on set that said, no, I don't want a dialect coach. I want to figure it out myself. And he actually showed up on the first day and just had this accent, which is so good. It's so good.
Is it believable?
It's believable, like, for the time and the place that they like the scenery. Oh man, it's good. So
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed both of these movies this week.
Cool. Awesome. Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, the whole accent thing is it's
so crazy.
It's so interesting because, I mean, like, I can't throw away my Oklahoma accent. Like, I mean, I feel like I don't even feel like I talk like a true Southerner. I mean, I of course I say y'all, I say ain't and fixin' to, but I don't talk slow. My dad's from New England. He talks fast. So, and I also don't refer to I call carbonated beverages soda, but down here it's like, it's Coke, but then what kind of Coke do you want? But I say, no, I'll take a soda, you know? But even at that, like, people will still say, you're from the South, aren't you? I'm like, damn it, I sure am. Like, you know,
I sure am, buddy.
Yeah, yeah, like howdy do, partner. You know, it's like one of those things. So it's just weird how accents work. But then, like, country artists, like, they have their, you know, like, a cold beer, American flag. You know, I got my dog by my side, you know, or whatever.
Yeah, I think of the tall country music artist. He's Blake Shelton. He has a thick accent. in like when he talks and when he sings.
Yeah, and the weird thing is, like, even artists like Johnny Cash, who is one of like if not the best country artist of all time, he just talks when he sings, but he still has that like that just drawl, and it's so good, and it's just,
100%.
but it's so weird how like with the British accent, and it might only be with the British accent that it just like goes out the window whenever they perform. I have no idea. I'll need to call up Robert.
I mean, neither.
Yeah, I'll need to call up Robert Pattinson and wonder what's going on.
Oh, I
there.
wish.
Yeah, I
wish we could call Robert.
I just have him on speed dial.
I'd call him for more than just an accent question. Let me tell you that.
I gotcha. Touche. All right. So moving on to the main segment. So we're going to start with sports. So the Stanley Cup final is set, and we are very excited about that. So the Dallas Stars did indeed defeat the Vegas Golden Knights 4-1 to become the Western Conference champions. And then the Tampa Bay Lightning beat the New York Islanders 4-2 to become the Eastern Conference champions. And both teams have won the Stanley Cup before, with Dallas winning back in 1999 and Tampa Bay winning back in 2004. So kind of a long drought for both of them. Also Dallas last went to the Stanley Cup final in 2000, but lost to New Jersey. So this is a 20-year return for them. And Tampa Bay last went in 2015, where they unfortunately lost to the Chicago Blackhawks. So, yeah, I'm personally pulling for the Stars. I do think the Lightning will win just because, I mean, both teams are stacked. This is going to be a goaltending and an offensive showdown. So it's going to be a really fun, and I also like watching Stanley Cup finals whenever I don't have like a team that I'm like attached to, so I can just like watch it for the sport. So
yeah, you can be excited when goals are scored on both sides.
Right. So that'll be fun, just like watching it from like a neutral perspective. So I'm looking forward to it, but I am pulling for the Stars. But if Tampa Bay wins, no biggie.
Awesome.
Not gonna be heartbroken.
No. And then we have NBA playoffs are in the conference final stage. In the East, the Miami Heat are facing the Boston Celtics. As of September 18th, Miami is currently up 2-0. In the West, LeBron James and the LA Lakers are up against the Denver Nuggets. As of September 18th, LA leads the series 2-0. Basketball has been so much fun to watch this year. Ever since the Golden State squad broke up, the quality of play has been much better. And I agree with that, Steven.
100%.
Golden State and Kevin Durant missed the playoffs this year. Finally, some good news.
Yes. I mean, I love Steph Curry as much as the next guy, but I was so sick and tired of seeing them win. And I was especially
100%.
tired of seeing Kevin Durant. I am still salty about that. I think we all are. Salty about Kevin Durant. Yeah, we actually watched some basketball at Taryn's bachelor party. We watched the Game 7 between the LA Clippers and I think the Nuggets, and it was a great game. Like basketball's been fun to watch this year. So thank you, Golden State, for breaking that band up. It's I mean, sincerely, the United States outside of California. We're really excited about that. And then in football action this week, kind of weird because I wrote NBA and you wrote football, but hey, here we go. We'll just popcorn it. So the second week of NFL football has started, and no games have been delayed or canceled due to COVID so far. So that is great.
It's good news. Good news.
Mm-hmm. Very good news.
You want me to go to the next one?
Sure. Yeah.
Also, this is the second weekend for college football, and they have had a plethora of games postponed because of COVID cases. So it's just, college kids, I think that is what it boils down to. It's the difference between professional players and college kids.
Yeah. So. Yeah, absolutely. Because I think I watched the Wake Forest versus whoever they played, which it was weird seeing a Wake Forest game televised because like they're the Demon Deacons, like no one knows or like who's Wake Forest, I mean, but I also just don't like college football, so I mean whatever. Right. So it is weird seeing the stadiums empty for college football, but that is for the best. So thankfully nobody's going out and getting COVID. And then back to the NFL world, F's in the chat for Tom Brady and Gronk. That was as we predicted, Lydia. They are making this team good, but not good enough.
Good enough.
Who did they lose to? I forgot.
Hey Matt, who did the Buccaneers lose to last week? The Saints.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So I mean, yeah, and even
and Brady threw like 2 interceptions. Like it was just. Yeah.
It was bad.
X.
And then the Bills did win. They played the Jets, I believe, question mark?
Jets, Jets.
I think they did. Let me look at
I
the
have no
NFL
idea.
scores really quick. Yeah, so I was going to autoplay this video.
I just know the
dang it.
Packers won, and that's what matters.
They did. Yeah, they beat the who'd they beat last week?
The Vikings.
Okay, right on. And that's kind of a Midwestern rivalry too.
Yes.
Chiefs easily beat them, not easily, but beat the Texans. Easily beaten though were the Browns, and Baker Mayfield got killed by the Ravens. And then the Bills won 27-17, which is great. So both of our teams won, and we're pretty stoked about that. And the Patriots won, so good for Cam Newton. They beat the Miami.
And Cam looked good.
He
Looked
did,
good
yeah.
in the Patriot uniform, and he played really well.
Yeah, and then also Washington football team won their game against the Philadelphia Eagles. So that is shaping up to already be another good NFL season. So we're looking forward to it. And then next up, we have the world of video games, which we're very pumped about. And Lydia, what's new with the PS5? Because I don't know anything about it. Yeah.
Yeah, PS5 details. I went ahead and kept bullet one because I thought it was funny.
Thank you.
Goes, Lydia, I don't know anything about the PS5. Help.
Yeah. I'm just not a Sony guy.
Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did have PS5 information released last week. So it is going to be released on November 12th, 2020. Cough, cough. That would be a great birthday present at Matt Malden.
At Malden.
With two different styles, $4.99 for the normal PS5 and $3.99 for the PS5 digital edition, which I think is kind of a cool idea to have two editions, one with no disc slot and then one being digital.
Yeah. Absolutely. And especially for a 100-point price difference. I mean, like if I were to get a PS5, I'd get the digital one because I mean, I even like on my Switch, like I don't own any physical games except for 2, but that was circumstantial.
So the big downside to the PS5 is that it still only has 16 gigabytes of memory, which is crazy because
those games are like 6 to 8 gigs at least.
Most of our phones have twice or 3 times as much space as what this PS5 is about to have. So I don't know how. I mean, that's just annoying to me.
That's just small. Like that's.
I think PS4s have 16 gigs. So I don't know why unless they're going to try to sell like a secondary hard drive.
But then why would you do that? If you're going to already gut the CD drive, why not just whatever? It's money's to be made. That's what it boils down to, unfortunately. Yeah.
So some of the big games we are looking forward to is Spider-Man Miles Morales. So initially we thought this was just going to be a add-on from the Spider-Man PS4 that was released, but they announced that it's actually a whole separate game. So we are pumped about that. Number 2 is Hogwarts Legacy, an open-world Harry Potter game, and I am excited. And the whole world was basically excited. I mean, Twitter blew up when they announced this Hogwarts game. So even my mom said, "Okay, you guys, you have a year to save up for because it comes out the game comes out in 2021."
Yeah.
So she said, "Okay, save up, and for Mother's Day, you can get me a PS5 and the Hogwarts game." I was like, "Okay, Mom."
That's awesome.
And then once again, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I put this on here just because I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan, and so we're excited about that too.
Cool, right on. So good news for Sony fans. I'm happy for y'all. Looks like the PS5 is going to be a great system. I don't think we have anything out of the Xbox Series X, like anything big as of recently, but we will of course keep you updated. But in my Nintendo world, we're very stoked about that. Super Mario 3D All-Stars was released on September the 18th, and according to Nintendo Life, on September the 15th, pre-orders alone launched the game into the second best-selling game of 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, and the first, Nintendo again with Animal Crossing's New Horizons. And I mean, of course, Animal Crossing was going to be a big game as is, but I mean, Animal Crossing New Horizons was supposed to be released late last year, but then they just had coincidental like developmental things where they had to push it to March, and then COVID happened and everybody was buying their Switches and stuff like that. So Nintendo with Animal Crossing inadvertently really boosted their Animal Crossing sales by delaying it because of course nobody predicted that COVID was going to happen. So Nintendo kind of did get lucky there, but it is cool.
Yeah, very awesome. And then looks like Rocket League is moving to free to play, according to Polygon on September 16th. The game is also moving to the Epic Game Store on PC. Rocket League will be free for everyone on September 23rd. Check it out. Okay, so what happens when we're all these people who bought the game? That's annoying.
Well, people like me, I guess we're suckers, but I mean, I don't really care. You know, I mean, it was
I
only
bought the game too.
yeah. Well, I mean, it was only $15, but oh well. Maybe they'll give us like some Rocket League bucks
15
or
whole dollars, man.
V-Bucks or whatever. Now it's Fortnite or whatever it is.
That
Yeah.
is Fortnite.
And then in California, unfortunately, the wildfires are still burning. So for those of us who, or for those of you all who might not be familiar, of course, this boils down to white people and a gender reveal party, which sparked all of this. Gender reveal parties are already kind of weird, in my opinion, to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, like, when and if I have kids, like, I'm going to be happy, like, whether or not if it's a, you know, biologically assigned male or female, because, I mean, all I want is a healthy baby. I mean, like, I don't understand.
Right.
I mean, but then again, I'm not a dad yet, so I don't understand where it's like, you know, oh, I'm hoping for a boy or I'm hoping for a girl. Like, to me,
Yeah.
like, that puts that puts less of a value on the opposite, and maybe this
Right. Automatically, you could be disappointed, and that kind of sucks.
right, but
And
I
then
mean,
also, do you want to be disappointed in front of like a group of people?
yeah,
Like, no. Like, I'd
No.
rather just be disappointed at home.
And-
With Matt, I'd
and-
be like, well, this kind of sucks, but I guess I'll deal with it, you know?
And also, you know what's a perfectly good gender reveal thing? The cake. Just go back to that. Everybody gets cake. Everybody loves cake. It's blue, it's pink, or whatever colors you want, and no wildfires involved. So hopefully,
agree.
hopefully these people who started the wildfires, hopefully they committed some sort of crime to where they can answer for this, because as if this year wasn't bad enough, we have 7,900 wildfires that have consumed over 3.4 million acres across California over the past few weeks. Trash, absolute trash.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
tragedy. I mean, those pictures of orange, you know, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and it's just orange in San Francisco. That it was like post-apocalyptic pictures. Like, it was scary.
Are you referring to that picture of the San Francisco Giants game that had like the cardboard people and then there was a baseball game being played?
Okay,
Have you
yes,
seen that?
I did
That's
see that
scary.
one.
Yeah.
That was super creepy.
That's
and
like
then
that's
just-
out of like a like not a horror movie. That's out of like a disaster movie.
yeah, literally, that's out of
So-
like a
That's like Interstellar.
Fallout.
That literally happened in Interstellar.
Oh, yeah, in Interstellar it did.
Right in the beginning there was like that dust storm and then the orange skies. Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but I was like
No,
that
that's
literally
true.
happened in a disaster movie.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it's just like, in just all the pictures I've seen, it's just it's scary, and also it kind of makes me think, like, I wonder if that's what the sky was when the asteroid hit and killed off the dinosaurs. Like, the dinosaurs are like, you know, breathing in all this nasty air, and that's basically what it is like, just, I mean,
Yeah.
the sun was blocked and it probably got colder. I don't know. It's
Honestly,
just really bad.
Honestly, an asteroid sounds great right now. I mean,
Honestly,
that's just right here.
it would
you
be
know.
really fast.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
would be fast.
yeah, for sure. And then scientists are worried that fires of this size are going to be what's to be expected in our age of global warming, and unfortunately, our governments, not just the U.S., is guilty, but we're a pretty big problem of it, with having inaction for climate change and kicking it down the road. So basically, we're screwed. So yay.
Yeah. I did read an article too that I thought was cool. Is since, you know, we've been doing temperatures of the Earth since the early 1800s, I think. And I read an article that said since the 1880s, the Earth has warmed by 2.4 degrees, which is like, scientists that study climate and like climate from past ages through rocks and stuff, they're saying that it's never been at that rate since the Earth was created, they're saying.
Yeah,
I'm like,
absolutely.
rip.
Yeah, well then, like, and a lot of people are all like, oh, well, that's just like 2 degrees, and it's like, yeah, like in context that doesn't sound like a lot, but whenever it's the whole planet that has multiple climates and, you know, multiple climates and different
Yeah.
weather patterns, that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, I strongly suggest going to the time lapse of Greenland over the past couple of years, because
That's a bummer.
Greenland is just supposed to be a huge iceberg basically, and if you look at what it was 10 years ago compared to now, I mean, it's more land than ice, and it's so sad. Speaking of global warming too, this has something to do with it because of the hurricanes.
Right.
Global warming causes hurricanes. So we have some cool hurricane news that came out of, not really. I mean, I think it's cool.
It's
from
interesting.
the scientific part of it, but
Right.
it's really sad overall.
Right.
But on September 18th, Tropical Storm Wilfred was named and was just over 600 miles west of the Cabo Verde Islands. Wilfred was the last name on the 2020 list of 21 hurricane names, which is only the second time in recorded history that all the names were used.
Do you know when the last time was? If not, I'll look it up.
Yes, I have
Oh,
it.
perfect.
It's in,
Okay.
Bullet C.
Oh,
The
cool.
Hurricane
Oh,
Center.
sorry.
The Hurricane Center does not use the letters Q, U, X, Y, and Z because there aren't enough names to fill those letters. Because you can't have. They try not to have the same names over years because then people get confused of what hurricane was what.
Right.
So, to name additional storms, the Hurricane Center will start using the Greek alphabet, which again is only the second time since the center started naming storms in 1953.
There we go. I tried to jump the gun. Apologies.
No, it's fine. In 2005, the Hurricane Center had to use 6 letters of the Greek alphabet for a record number of storms in recorded history. Plot twist, on September 19th, we are already on Hurricane Beta, which is currently in the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, great. Yeah.
And we still have a few more weeks left of hurricane season at least. So it looks like we are
Yay.
going to have a record number of hurricanes this year
Yeah. And
in all of recorded history since 1953. So
yep. Here we are. What a time to be alive.
what a time. 2020 might as well set some more records, right?
Yeah, might as well. And then here is our, well, not the hurricane and the fire were good news, but this is our last piece of good news because we do have, of
Yes.
course, the last story, which is very sad. So in Stevia League action, we had our qualifiers for our final race in the Dale Senior Memorial Stevia League Mario Kart race. So congratulations to D-Baz, Alec, and Ernan for being the finalists representing the Star Conference. And then in the Mushroom Conference, we had J-Tag, Mike, and Taryn being the finalists. So congratulations to them as well. The final race will be sometime this week. Check our socials for a final date. And the winner will not only be the Stevia League champion for the third edition this year, but will also win a prize. So that's,
Ooh,
yeah.
we love a good prize.
So that is very exciting. And then here is what is not very exciting. Associate Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg unfortunately did pass away. PBS reports on September the 18th that Associate Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the second woman to serve on the Supreme Court following Sandra Day O'Connor, passed away in her Washington home at the age of 87.
Ginsburg has been a longtime advocate for women's rights and other social issues, including limiting the use of the death penalty.
Yes, and then NPR reported on September the 19th that President Trump will announce a court pick, his quote, most likely a woman this upcoming week. Senate Majority Leader, Republican out of Kentucky, Mitch McConnell, has already said that he will allow a vote to happen during the election year, a stark contrast to Obama's 2016 nomination of Justice Merrick Garland to replace Associate Justice Antonin Scalia whenever he passed away. So of course, everybody's calling the Republicans hypocrites, which in this case they are. But if anybody was surprised by this, you haven't
been paying attention.
You haven't been paying attention. I was like, great, who's
like literally?
right?
Come on.
Well, I mean.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, at the very least, Senator Lindsey Graham, who I am not a fan of, but he at least said, "Use my words against me." So he at least is telling his people to hold him accountable while not being accountable. So at least he's being on. Kind of like whenever Kevin Stitt got COVID and he still wasn't wearing a mask. Like if you're gonna
still went to the freaking restaurant.
Right. Like if you're going to mess up, like at least like own up to it and not like.
Yeah.
There's at least something admirable about that, but not something. Yeah.
A simple majority of 51 is required to confirm a Supreme Court justice. Republican Senators Lisa Murkowski of Alaska and Susan Collins of Maine have both said that the winner of the election should fill the vacancy following the election. NPR reports on September 19th.
Right. So while that is good news, unfortunately, even with those 2 votes taken out, the remaining 51 Republican senators can still confirm the appointee. Additionally, the vice president of the United States is the president of the Senate, giving Vice President Pence the power to cast the tie-breaking vote should there be a need for one. That notably happened with the confirmation of Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos, where he was required to flip the tide in her favor. So even though as of now, Senators Murkowski and Collins have said that they're going to post that they don't want to vote, that still is looking like that won't make a difference. So so it's looking like the Republicans are going to try to rush a pick, and then this will be Trump's third Supreme Court justice pick, following Justices Neil Gorsuch and, of course, Brett Kavanaugh. Kind of a weird parallel here is that President Obama, of course, nominated Sonia Sotomayor and Elania Kagan, and then he tried with Merrick Garland for his third, and then that one went down. So this could be another weird repeat of history that we've already been seeing a lot this year.
Something to add on to this too is a lot of people are asking, well, what are the requirements to be a Supreme Court justice, right? And the answer is there are really no requirements. There's not an age, an education, a sex, any kind of requirement. It's really whoever the president wants to nominate, and then it's up to the Senate to vote them in. So
you heard it here.
Could really be anybody.
You heard it here first. Supreme Court Justice Ivanka Trump.
I know. So if we do see
I don't think that'll happen. I don't think
docket.
that'll happen. I was being bitter.
Yes.
But it could happen.
But it's good to bring that up.
Of course,
it really could just be anybody. They don't have to be lawyers. They don't have to be any kind of they don't even really have to have a doctoral degree, and there's no education required, really. So
right. And another weird thing is that the Supreme Court is one of the offices that a former president can actually become. That has only happened once in history. So here's your history fact for the day to impress your friends. The only president to do that was William Howard Taft back in the early 1900s, where he became the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. And that idea was also floated around whenever Hillary Clinton said that she would consider nominating Obama to the Supreme Court, which, I mean, I personally don't agree with doing that. Like, in my opinion, if you serve as president and you serve the max number of terms, you should be done. Like that should be like for your political career, that should be it. But there's just another interesting fact for you there.
Yeah, that's cool. That is actually really cool. So I think that's it for our main segment. So I think we're moving on to Stevia Sound-Off.
Right. So Stevia Sound-Off is, of course, a new section. It's not new now. We've had it for a while. But this is where Team Stevia can send us questions. Normally, we post a thread on our Instagram and Twitter, but we suck and forgot this week. So we did have Stevia Sound-Off in the Discord, which is where you can keep up to date for all things Stevia. So we do have.
If you're not in the Discord, you really need to just get in the Discord. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good
time.
You
miss out on a lot if you're not in the Discord.
You really do. So first question, and these are all, I mean, we've so far always had really good questions, but I really like these ones.
These are good questions.
So associate producer JTag asks, more so to myself, STVN, how have you been enjoying Mario 3D All-Stars? And then he has a follow-up for Lydia, which we will do next. So I've been really enjoying 3D All-Stars. I primarily bought it because I have not played Super Mario Galaxy. I skipped both Galaxies for the Wii, but I had a Wii. I don't know why I skipped those. Kind of a weird deal. But I'm super stoked because I have, of course, played Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine. I'm a big fan of Mario Sunshine. I know it's kind of like the black sheep of the 3D Mario family, and a lot of the gaming community at large doesn't like it, but I think it's a fun game. It's a really cool departure from the Mushroom Kingdom. And then, of course, Super Mario 64 is one of the all-time greatest games. Right. So
64 is definitely my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, so far my favorite 3D Mario is Odyssey, but for sure Mario 64 was the most monumental because that was the one that started the 3D Marios, and they nailed it right off the bat. So I'm super stoked for that. And then the follow-up for Lydia was, what do you think of the PS5 thus far?
Yeah, so I think I kind of talked about that earlier in the segment. I am excited for the PS5. I don't think that I am going to get it right off the bat, though, because I think that the opening game is going to be Spider-Man, but Spider-Man alone isn't enough for me to buy a $500 console yet. So I think I will wait till 2021 for when Harry Potter comes out, and then I'll buy it. But it does frustrate me still that it's only 16 gigabytes. So I am super excited. The way it looks is awesome. I love that it's a stand up. The PS4, you can lay it on its side, but it's not really. I mean, I think I think the way it's meant to be is laid flat. So I am excited that you can put it up for space reasons. But yeah, the 16 gigabyte thing is kind of annoying to me.
Yeah, the PS2 did that too. I'm not really sure if the PS3 did that, but the PS2, they had like that stand adapter where you could like flip it up,
Yeah.
which was really
The
cool.
PS3 definitely was not. It was definitely stationary flat. And then the PS4 is made. It's kind of a square. I'm looking at it, so that's why I'm looking down. It's kind of a square, so you can put it down. So mine's flat down, and you can stand it up. But the way, I mean, the name and stuff on it is red like it's
right
flat.
because I remember the PS2, you could actually like flip that little like the little
Right.
PlayStation logo, which was just like a very nice little touch.
It's pretty cool.
But we just talked about the PS3, so that like brought me back to the original PS3 design. That was a weird design. It looks
so
really
weird.
weird. So next up, Guyver Unit 01, who is Chris Sharp, he asks, if this world went to war and you got locked in a bunker for years and they gave you a device that only held 2 songs on it, what would you choose and why? Well, first off, that device was called the original Nokia brick phone that could only hold, and it could survive a world war because that phone was indestructible.
Yes.
Oh man, that's tough. Only 2 songs.
I think that I would choose a Pink Floyd song because they're like 5 minutes long.
I can one up you
So-
on length. Like there's a Rush song called 2112 that is literally 20 minutes long.
Okay.
In the album for 2112, the whole A side of the record is just that one song. Then the B side is only like 3 other songs.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
It is, yeah. But
so
you're-
I think I would pick a Pink Floyd song because they're like 10 minutes long or
Right.
something. So I'd do one Pink Floyd song. And then I would do probably like a bop so I could play it if I was like sad or something. So
right.
it would probably be like a Jonas Brothers or a One Direction song that I could just like sing to, but they're
Right.
only 3 minutes long, and so then I would have to play Pink Floyd for 10 minutes, and then I would
Right.
get like One Direction or Harry Styles out there. Watermelon sugar high, you know.
That's funny.
So I think that's what I'd pick.
Yeah, that's a really good answer. I wasn't expecting you to say Pink Floyd, TBH, but that's rad. That's rad.
I do love some Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
I know it's a secret of mine.
It's a secret. Yeah.
But
Yes.
now everybody knows.
Touche. So for me, I think I would pick it. Man, 2 songs, that's tough. I think the first song that I would pick would actually be a classical song by Piotr Tchaikovsky, which is 1812 Overture, one of my favorite songs of all time. People who are listening, rightfully, you're probably like, what the hell is he talking about? But if you were to listen to the end of 1812 Overture, you would know exactly what it is. It's the one that goes like da 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 da. Yeah, but the whole song is like 18 minutes long. Beautiful piece of music. So I'd choose 1812 Overture. And also, fun fact, 1812 Overture is the only piece of sheet music. So in sheet music for like symphonies, it has what it like calls for, like a recipe, but for instruments. And it says that to properly play the song, it requires 2 cannons, like legitimate cannons.
Like, cannons.
Right. Because at the end there's cannon fire to represent
You're right.
Russia's defeat of Napoleon, because Russia was the only country to successfully defend themselves from Napoleon during that. It's a really cool piece. I
That's
recommend.
really cool.
Yeah, I recommend everybody listening to 1812 Overture at least once. But the second song, that is hard. Tell you what.
Yeah.
I mean, part of me wants to say like a bop, like just something to automatically put me in a good mood. But man, I have such like I love music so much.
Yeah, this is a really hard question.
It's hard. I think. See, if this question was albums, I could answer that. I could answer albums, but not.
But because you have to pick one more song, it's hard.
Right. I think I would pick. Because see, part of me wants to go with another long song, but I know I wouldn't want to do that all the way through. I think I would pick something like cheesy just to put me in a good mood. Like something that comes to mind like immediately is like 1985 by Bowling for Soup, which is by all
Oh,
means
yeah.
like it's a good song, but it's not like a pinnacle of music. It's not like if you were to like
No.
show an alien race like, hey, what's the best artist you have? Like, here's Bowling for Soup. Like
Right, right.
but it's still like it's just such a fun song. I think I'd probably pick something like that or like All the Small Things by Blink 182 or any Blink 182 song.
Sure.
So something pop punk is what I would choose.
Yeah. So that's actually a good like follow-up question is like, okay, if we were in this bunker and you could only choose two artists to show like the next generation of like bunker babies, right?
Right.
What two artists would you show of bunker babies?
Man, that's again tough because I mean, of course, I'm of course biased to the music that I like, but I understand that the music I like isn't like the definitive like good music. So I think I would have to choose probably Live at Folsom Prison by Johnny Cash, and I'm not a big country fan, but that album is really good because he's performing a very small set to death row inmates, and Johnny
Yeah.
Cash is very much like an outlaw kind of country artist. Like he sympathizes
For
with
sure.
like the common man. So I think I would choose that. And then I would probably have to choose Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen, one of my all-time favorite albums.
Springsteen.
It probably isn't my favorite album, but it's on there. But the reason why is because anybody can relate, like regardless of like your cultural background. Like it's not like you have to be an American or whatever to understand what he's saying. So I think I'd say Born to Run and then Live at Folsom Prison by Johnny Cash.
I would say I would bring. So I think I would choose Adele
Okay.
because, I mean,
Why not? She's
people
incredible.
need to hear. Yeah, people need to hear that. Like people need to hear that some woman, they would never know who but they need to hear that someone can sing as amazing as that. I
Of
feel
course.
like that is just something someone you just need to hear in your life. So I feel like Adele, and then I think that you would have to bring the Beatles just so they know, just so they know.
That's
you
very
know?
true. Like Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good
Just
point.
so they realize, like, man, this was the jam.
And here's another fun fact. We could actually talk about this on a bonus episode. So maybe we can do that for the next one after we do your scariest places, which we're looking forward to. But we actually in the 1970s we launched what was called the Golden Record up into space that had like this exact same thing, only it was like songs. So it was like which songs were chosen for the Golden Record and like why we would want an alien race to discover it. I think you would love that.
That would be cool. That's a good bonus episode.
We'll do that
Remember
next. We'll do that next. The Golden Record. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then finally.
So yeah, that was great. Yeah, that was really good, Chris. Thanks.
Yeah, for sure. And then finally, Mike Cambiano asks at Lydia Winford, will you review more horror movies? And I think he was asking that because he knows, or I guess we know, that you're not too big on horror movies, but also it's almost spooky season, so we need some good horror recommendations.
Yeah, so it is almost spooky season, and I am pumped. And actually, I'm a huge fan of scary movies. It's
Really?
Matt that hates scary movies.
Oh,
Yes. So
okay.
I used to watch scary movies all the time before I met at Maldinden because he's not a big fan of them. So I will have to say yes to Mike Cambiano, and I'll have to watch scary movies when Matt is playing pickleball. And so I will try to do one scary movie review for the rest of the weeks until Halloween comes. How about that?
Cool.
That gives us like 6 horror movies.
That's a pretty big promise there. But I mean, but then again, you love movies.
I can do it.
Like, well, you can, right? But whenever I hear that,
can
I'm like, that's a lot of work, Yeah. And see, the weird thing with me, I'm with Matt. I don't like horror movies either because I hate jump scares. Like, I'm very jumpy as is. Like, I'm very easy to scare. So there's some there.
Yeah.
Here's me being vulnerable with Team Stevia. But I like horror movies that don't have jump scares, or if they do, there's only like one, because then if it's like jump scare, like I'm gonna have a heart attack, like it's not fun. It's not fun.
See, and I love that. I'm definitely I'm an adrenaline junkie.
I was about to say
I'm
that, like you like roller
it
coasters,
gives me like a
right?
high.
Right.
And so I love that. The only thing I don't like about movies is when they have some movies are really like really rated R and they have like bad like rape scenes and stuff like
Mhm.
that. I will never finish a movie if it has that in it because
Right.
I'm like, this is unnecessary for the plot. Okay, like you don't need to have this in here. So if there's anything like that in a movie, I will automatically turn it off and give it a 0 out of 10. So just so you know.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I'm the same way whenever an animal dies. If an animal dies, or specifically a dog, if a dog dies in a movie and it serves no purpose to the plot, I will immediately get angry for the rest of the movie. And that's just
Yeah.
like a personal thing for me. I know I've mentioned this plenty of times, but speaking of scary movies, The Conjuring, which everyone was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
it's so scary. Which, I mean, there was a lot of jump scares, but whenever the dog died in the beginning and served no purpose to the plot, I was literally so mad for the rest of the movie that I just like didn't care. Like I was like, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Cool.
agree.
Well, great questions, team.
So yeah, if you have movies that you want me to watch before you just let me know and I'll watch them.
Awesome. Good to hear. Really good questions today, Team Stevia. We will be sure to post those threads on our Instagram story and our Twitter next time, so that way we can have more. But thank you for those 3 questions. It really made us think. I dig it. Thank you all.
It was good.
It was good. All right. So I think that about does it for today, Team Stevia. Thank you so much for joining us for this news update. And basically, of course, as always, you can follow us on all the social media platforms with the handle at The Stevia Show. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on whichever podcast app you listen to. If you're on YouTube, just simply search for The Stevia Show and subscribe with the notification button, and be sure to smash that like icon.
Love it. Make sure to check out our streams. We stream at least twice a week. Stream schedules are posted on all platforms monthly and on our Instagram weekly. Anchor producers are able to join multiplayer streams and in-game chat.
Yes. Hello, Matt.
Hi, Matt. I just don't even know what he's doing. We would like to also thank our Anchor producers for their continued support. You can support us for as little as 99 cents a month and receive exclusive Discord roles and bonus episodes every month. And we apparently already have 2 planned, so this is great.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh yeah, this was you.
Oh, sorry. And we also have merchandise available through our links in our bio and our show notes. So whenever you visit us online, be sure to click our link tree and click on merch. So we ship nationwide as well. So if you live in Tampa Bay, Green Bay, Green Bay, Milwaukee, whatever, or if you live in California, unless you're that couple who started the fires, or Tampa Bay, who else? We said Dallas. We said. I think that was maybe New York for the Islanders, and then Vegas for the Golden Knights, and we said Buffalo and the New York Jets. Okay, a lot of Northeast today. So basically, if you live in any of those places or anywhere in the world, we will ship to you, no problem. So we would look forward to doing that, and as always, we appreciate your continued support.
Hey,
So
Steven. Hey,
what's up?
Steven. Hey, should we tell Team Stevia what our goal is on Facebook?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Maybe they can help us out.
Yeah, we could always use a helping hand. So yes,
Okay, good call.
Yeah.
Hey, Team Stevia. So if you have not liked our Facebook page, we are trying to get to 1,000 likes by 2021. I think was the goal, or maybe
The end of
that was
this
our
year.
2020. Yeah,
Yeah.
the end of the year. So we are at like 800 and something likes. So if you have not liked our Facebook social media page, please go give us a like and let your friends know about us and have them like it as well. It'll help us out a lot. And then that's where we put a lot of our news updates and our Stevia leagues and things like that. So make sure you go like our Facebook page.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, as far as like Stevia gaming goes, like, yeah, we do everything on Facebook gaming. We just, try our best to hang out with y'all and, make everybody feel like this is one big community. And that's what I love about doing this. I love that, like you and I might be like the figureheads or whatever, but this really is a community ran podcast. And I think that's,
For sure.
It's a blast for sure.
It is a blast. I love it.
We love it. Yep. And as always, just great talking to you all today. Thanks for having us in your speakers or in your headphones, wherever you're at. But unless you have anything else to add, Lydia, I think that's it.
That'll be it for me, Steve-O.
Cool. All right. Well, for now, this is Steven.
And this is Lydia.
And we will see you all later.
Bye.
Bye.